What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com, The Hype, episode 327. It's baseball season 2024. Topps Series 1 is dropping this Wednesday as you're listening to this podcast. We've already got breaks going down at Mojobreak.com, and we want to save you guys some money on some teams in Series 1, and we're going to discuss it later in the show. But use code TOPS2024 on Mojobreak.com to get 15% off teams in Series 1. Only 30 available coupons, one per customer. So get on that now. Grab some teams. Load up. There's no maximum. So if you want to buy 10 teams and get 15% off at some already great prices, jump on there now. We've got a great jam-packed show today. Topps has announced that they're going to do a Hobby Hall of Fame. So we've got some ideas. We've got some picks we'll discuss. We're also going to talk about Series 1, some of the new designs, what we think is going to be popular amongst hobbyists. And, of course, we're going to talk about my heartbreak on Sunday. Cody's heartbreak on Sunday. Dan was a casual in that one. You know, he had no dog in the fight. But I will say this. I don't think we'll ever beat Patrick Mahomes. I reflected back to when this all happened, Dan, and I told Cody this earlier today. This whole thing stems back from 2017, and the 49ers, you can compare them to the Portland Trailblazers of the 80s. So what happened was John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, get hired, 2017, first draft. Quarterback on the roster is Brian Hoyer. Sitting there with Brian Hoyer in 2017, and we're like, cool. We're not even actually going to watch any tape on Patrick Mahomes because, and this is facts, we feel comfortable that Kirk Cousins is a free agent next season, and we're going to get Kirk Cousins. So, and Lynch goes there, and he goes, hey, I played at Stanford. Solomon Thomas is probably a pretty good pro, so we're going to let the Bears move up and take Trubisky, act like we want him, but we really want Solomon Thomas. We're going to take Solomon Thomas. Next quarterback taken off the board was the 10th pick was Patrick Mahomes, but we didn't even look at him. So what happens is this guy just is our nightmare now. So he is the Michael Jordan to the Sam Bowie for the Niners.
You guys were not a quarterback away from being a good team.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Let's. You guys needed multiple pieces.
A lot of pieces of that puzzle.
Not
Solomon Thomas.
Patrick Mahomes gets drafted by the Niners. I don't know if Patrick Mahomes is the Patrick Mahomes that we know and love today.
The Chiefs had Alex Smith.
He could have gone the way of Trey Lance.
Chiefs had Alex Smith, who has just played the Patriots in the playoffs the year prior to that. They went on a run. Alex Smith lost to Tom Brady. You go out, you trade down and get the Bills pick, which Bills had the 10th pick, which they had Tyrod Taylor at that time, which, hey, they could have probably used Mahomes that year instead of drafting Allen in 18. They didn't draft him either. I don't know what it was about his tape.
Why don't we feel bad for the Bears?
I mean, that's
the Bears traded up to get Mitchell Trubisky.
Right. In a draft that
Bears.
In a draft that before all of the stuff with Deshaun Watson happened, where that was right after one of the most electric national championship games ever, when Deshaun Watson led that Clemson team. And then you had Patrick Mahomes, who was putting up stats, and I know there were some people who were a little low on him because, he's a system. He might be a Texas Tech, might be a system guy, but yeah, the fact that they went Trubisky will always be like,
and then Watson went 13th overall to the Texans. But
I mean, the Niners again. I don't think at any point they were looking for a quarterback because
they weren't.
They were not a quarterback away. They needed a lot of pieces. Solomon Thomas, I watched him at Stanford. You basically look at the top guys in that draft, and you go, Solomon Thomas is going to be a Pro Bowl caliber player at defensive tackle for a decade. He was almost the closest thing to a sure bet in that draft. Him having a connection going to Stanford with Lynch, I thought it was a no-brainer.
Stay local.
But it's easy to look at Solomon Thomas's career now and be like, that was a bad pick.
Because the Browns did have the first pick, and they picked this year's Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, which was a great pick. They probably could have used Mahomes as well, but in that spot, Myles Garrett was a sure bet, and then that's probably why the Niners traded back, because they probably wanted Myles Garrett at that time. But who won the game on Sunday? Nobody's talking about anybody else. Maybe Chris Jones.
Solomon Thomas did not win the game.
Mahomes won the Super Bowl
He certainly did
over and over again. Yeah. And I don't know why we built. I understand that was the old mindset of like you got to build your team around your line, your trenches. You got to do that. But if you don't have a signal caller, what's the point?
I still think majority of the teams think that you have to build from the trenches out. Still, you are not gonna. You could have the greatest quarterback in the world, but if you have Swiss cheese in front of him, it doesn't matter.
But to not even look at the guy's tape, to be so sure that
because I think that they were like we're not drafting a quarterback.
Yeah,
they did. They drafted C.J. Beathard in the 3rd round. They've traded up.
Well, it's different to.
Now
that was later in the draft.
There is a point to be made that in the first couple of years that I think Kyle Shanahan had blinders on and was like, Kirk Cousins is that light at the end of the tunnel here.
He loves him.
He
still.
loved it. And hey, look, there's gonna be.
Are we saying that there is 0% chance that Kirk Cousins puts on a Niner jersey?
I think there's at least a 1% chance.
I mean,
he's a free agent this offseason.
He's a free agent, and we know that Shanahan has talked a lot about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins may love playing for Shanahan.
They're gonna have to.
This may actually happen.
I mean, this is the scenario. The moment that the free agency begins, John Lynch is going to be walking with him in Levi Stadium, and he's going to find an open broom closet, push Kyle Shanahan into there, lock the door until Kirk Cousins is signed, just to be sure.
But see, that
he doesn't call Kirk. Go, Kirk, come to the.
If the Niners sign Kirk Cousins, I'll be like, I don't know what is going on.
They won't. Of course they won't. But Kyle loves them.
And you got the prior year was the last Tom Sula year. No, Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly. Dark times.
Kaepernick was in 2016. Yes. So we had and did we run out Hoyer towards the end? So Hoyer didn't even play in the system. But I believe Hoyer was familiar with Shanahan's offense. So if you look at the pattern of Kyle Shanahan, he has to get a guy that's a signal caller, that's familiar with his offense rather than let's get familiar with the talent behind the quarterback. And I'm obviously not a scout, but I just know that now going forward, the Niners, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. And if we go to the Super Bowl again, I'm just going to assume that we're going to lose, because if I put any projections on the fact that we could win a Super Bowl, it's just not going to happen. It doesn't happen. It won't happen. And if it does, then, that's a bonus. That's where I'm sitting. If we play Patrick Mahomes, we're never going to win.
Man, you should just not be a Niner fan anymore. Just give up. Just give up and be like, it's fine.
Hey, it was a great game. But you have Michael Jordan. It was almost reminiscent of that Utah Jazz game where that shot that they called the shot. You put the ball in the hands of that guy, and that guy, Michael Jordan, put the ball in the hands of Patrick Mahomes. If he's going to have the ball last.
I mean, it is wild. The trajectory here of Patrick Mahomes is wild, how similar it does feel to Tom Brady now at this point. I know we've talked about it a lot. I know it's been talked about
except that he is doing it a lot sooner than Tom Brady.
Yeah, 28 years old.
And he's doing it where...
He's on pace to have 10 Super Bowl rings.
If we remember those first few Super Bowls with Brady was more of like, he's a good game manager. Like,
sure,
he's an
100%.
elevated game manager. Is what he was. It wasn't until the undefeated year where people went, okay, we might be watching the best who's ever done it right now.
And they're two different types of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Let's face it. I mean, they're both winners and Super Bowl champion MVPs, but Patrick Mahomes does a lot more things that Brady didn't do.
Well, I mean, how about this? You have to draft one of those quarterbacks to be, and these both in their prime. Are you going Mahomes or are you going Brady? With the landscape of today's game, today's current time, but both in their prime.
I know my answer, and it's honestly not a hard one.
Yeah,
it's Mahomes.
It's Mahomes. Mahomes is the correct answer, I believe.
The eras are different. That's why it's hard. It's just like comparing LeBron to Jordan, and that argument always goes on to today. It just depends on the era. I don't think Mahomes would succeed as well as he does in the era of when Tom Brady was winning against Breeze, Manning, and all these guys that were out there.
I think he might though, because I think I think that style translates. I also don't know if he's like the Like, he's good at getting out of pressure and being elusive and scrambling to, for that extra yardage or whatever, or making something out of nothing. But I think that translates to any era.
I don't think Andy Reid gets enough credit
that's what I was
for
gonna say.
development of
Great.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. Trusting him.
I don't know. And it's hard to say because it's hypothetical, right?
We will find out. We will find out how Mahomes is without Reid. Andy Reid is not going to coach his entire
That's
career.
not going to be like Belichick, where Belichick came in and what? He was in
No,
his late 40s,
but Andy Reid has
there?
already put a stamp on Patrick Mahomes as a football player.
Right.
There's things that he has learned with Andy Reid that will last his whole career, even if Reid is not his coach.
And frankly, I think that is going to be, when Andy Reid is ready to be done, I think it's a conversation that Andy Reid, the front office, and Patrick Mahomes all have about who's next. They're going to handpick. Like, Mahomes will be part of the decision of
How old
who's
is
the next
How old
guy.
is Andy Reid?
I think he's getting towards 70.
Is he?
Right around
I thought
there.
He's younger than that.
He's getting towards it. I don't know if he's quite there, but yeah, he's getting up there. And yeah, I know he's got at least one more year. Kelsey's got. My guess is this.
You got to think of Andy Reid. Andy Reid has to
65.
Got to be one of the greatest coaches ever.
65 years old.
Yeah.
Look. I mean, I would actually know what is his winning percentage as a head coach.
It's way.
It's
up
got to
there.
be pretty
But
damn
if you
good,
guys,
right?
the memory is erased of those years in Philly where he kept getting close. It was similar to Shanahan.
He
took a
literally
while
was
to
Shanahan.
get to where he was at this point. And now,
Shanahan at 60, well, he'll figure it
maybe.
Shanahan, well, and may have to go somewhere else to do it, yeah. But my guess is, and Andy Reid could go for a few more years if he wanted to, but there's a part of me that feels like this one feels like the most improbable, easily, not having Travis Kelce and basically nobody else to throw to. I mean, Rashee Rice is becoming a guy at the end of the season, but easily the most improbable, most incredible one they've had. My gut tells me they're going to try to run it back one more time with Kelce, with Reid.
Well, to be the first three-peat, right? I mean,
right.
That's
you do that.
But
If they three-peat, I think those two guys
and I
are done.
honestly think in free agency and development, they're probably going to be a better team next year than they were this year, which is scary. Which is scary to think of.
I was looking up cap space. I think they've got about 20, 25.
They're going to get Mike Evans, and I mean, Mike Evans is like kind of the perfect fit for that offense.
Yeah, but he's kind of like when the Niners got Randy Moss. That's where we're at.
I was going to say, I liken it to, we were talking about this the other day off air, I was saying the trajectory of Brady, where it's like those back-to-back years, who do you have? You had Deion Branch, no offense to him, he was a Super Bowl MVP, but he certainly isn't Tyreek Hill, Randy Moss in his prime level. I could see it being like that, where Mike Evans goes, cool, I'll just join the best quarterback of all time, and after just playing with the best quarterback of all time and winning a Super Bowl.
And sometimes, I mean, team chemistry does make sense too. Like right now, he's got guys besides Kelce. He's got guys out there that aren't like demanding the ball. Like, you know what I mean? They're out there trying to play. Mecole Hardman, Rashee Rice is a rookie. Who else is out there running routes for him?
Kadarius Toney
was
not even out there.
Healthy scratch.
So you've got these guys that are like probably number threes everywhere else, but because they have Mahomes. So like, I mean, honestly, opposite of what Ayuk just pulled. Ayuk had a great year, and I love Brandon Ayuk, and it could be coming from a reason of the loss and taking it hard, but coming out and saying he doesn't want to play for the team anymore, and he didn't get the ball. That it's a little Odell Beckham-ish.
I don't know if we went that far.
I don't think he said
he went
that.
far.
I don't think he said
didn't
that.
say
His camp is doing a lot more speaking.
He's talking today
on his behalf.
They might be, but like that, you can't tell me that he's walking around being all positive.
I mean, I think it really comes down to the fact that he is up for an extension, and he's probably looking at the Niners cap space and being like, is this going to be feasible to get paid what I want to get paid?
There's going to be a lot of restructuring.
He is going to, and rightfully so, he is going to be a guy who's going to look around the league and go, I want to be a top paid receiver in the league.
Yep.
The Niners are going to look around and go, how many players can we pay at the top of every position?
Right. Exactly.
Like, they would have two receivers that are in the top 5 in the league.
Yeah, and he could honestly go to several different places and be the number one. He's
Yeah.
he's arguably the number one in the Niners now, but you always have Debo and you've got Kittle and you've got McCaffrey.
Now, I
You've got all
do
these
think that
options.
Debo signed a 3-year extension, and that was, I think he has maybe 2 years on it, maybe?
It did feel the logical end game felt like Debo eventually getting traded in the middle of that contract, but seeing how they performed without him on the field, I think maybe those are quiet. Those discussions are quieting down a little bit.
I would probably try to figure out a way to get rid of Debo and keep Ayuk.
That's probably what they'll
if
still
I
do.
if I had to make that decision.
It's tough because one's more of a dynamic receiver. I think that Ayuk works better with Purdy. We can see that, but the wide back that Debo provides a little bit more.
Debo's taken more hits. He's what, a year older.
I don't think Christian McCaffrey has as good of a year that he had without Debo on the field. Now, Debo not getting the ball as much, but like being a decoy, making the people that are going to chase down the running back watch him.
I don't think there is a pathway of extending Ayuk and keeping Debo Samuel on the current
And
contract.
Brock Purdy's got to get some money, right?
He is not going to get extended.
No.
Not going to get extended this year. He
You've
will
got
be
another year.
Well, it's funny
until this starts
because the
getting a
NFL
little loud.
Honors said something like, somebody just got paid $200,000 for this commercial, and that's what Brock Purdy makes in a half a year. And there's a lot of jokes about that. And I'm like, as a Niner fan, I'm like, can we stop talking about that?
Yeah, well, he just got that nice deal from Toyota. He'll be all right for a little bit.
He's aware of how much money
I'm sure
his peers who play the same position, who were not in the Super Bowl, get paid.
Oh, yeah.
He, at some point, if his agent doesn't start talking to the Niners front office soon about an extension, then he needs to fire his agent.
Yeah, correct.
But we're at that time now. Now it's off season. Like, obviously, like, I saw a list of the Niner unrestricted free agents. There is nobody on there that I would be like, you guys need to keep.
Yeah, there's nothing devastating.
Jennings is an interesting one because he had that he's unrestricted,
restricted. Yeah.
I'm sorry, he is restricted. Because that's a guy that I guess if you don't get Ayuk, you have to keep
you keep him if you plan on moving away from either Debo or Ayuk.
If you want to do
you got to keep Jennings. But there is the thing about Jennings is there is a crap ton of really good receivers that are free agents. I don't think he's going to want to jump into that pool.
Right.
And basically Jefferson, Odell Beckham,
right. T. Higgins is out there.
Michael Pittman, T. Higgins,
right, unrestricted.
He isn't going to want to be a guy who's going to have to compete with contracts going up against that free agent class.
And you've got Marvin Harrison, so whoever's going to draft Marvin Harrison's probably not going to get one of these free agents.
The Niners may be able to extend him, but the guys that I looked at, like Chase Young, you let him walk. That guy's going to get paid ridiculous amounts of money, and that contract is going to look terrible whoever signs him. Yeah. Randy Gregory, you can't pay him as a starter,
no.
and he is going to get paid as a starter somewhere. They had a couple offensive linemen like Feliciano.
Yeah,
you could probably find another
threw
guy.
his other lineman under the bus.
You could probably find depth guys in the draft to try to plug those guys in.
Let's circle. I was gonna say, unless you have another point, I was gonna circle back around to Mahomes' cards here and what the future. And we don't throw around the word investment around here, but like as far as collectability, is it time to like put these away? Like start, probably right now is not a great time to buy, but like, come in the off season, maybe, after all this hype settles down after this third Super Bowl win. I mean, this has got to be a safer investment. I don't want to use the investment word, but safer to collect him long term now, knowing that he's in the upper echelon of only 3 quarterbacks that have had 3 Super Bowl MVPs and 3 victories.
Yeah, I mean, he's entered that conversation, and I think it's the benefit of I think I just saw that he is the 3rd quarterback to win multiple Super Bowl MVPs and at least 3 Super Bowls, and it's literally him, Brady, Montana.
Yes.
Like, that's it. That is it. So
and that's a Mount Rushmore.
If tomorrow he said, I'm done,
First ballot Hall of Famer.
He's already a first ballot Hall of Famer.
At
He's on the
28.
Mount Rushmore, all of that stuff. So, and in terms of cards, he has the benefit of being a modern guy, but even Montana stuff is still some of the biggest, still sells huge numbers. So, yeah, I don't know. I see some of the sales that we were highlighting. I mean, on Super Bowl Sunday, I don't know if that many people are going to be forking over $45K for a flawless number to 25 patch auto. BGS 9.5 rookie of Patrick Mahomes, but and I don't know how much more. What's the ceiling here? My guess is before the season starts, there's going to be another Mahomes card that approaches, if not exceeds, $1 million.
I look at it and go, if I'm buying Mahomes, I'm buying contenders.
Yeah.
I'm buying a contender because he's going to get compared to Brady, right? He already does. What Brady card is the most popular rookie auto to collect for Brady? It's the contenders. So get the contenders if you're going to invest. Do not invest in flawless. Do not invest in 2017 immaculate. Even Prism. I'd probably stay away from that.
Yeah, I mean, and and that's what I would do too. And I'm not saying this to dispute that, but you do have something that's looming. The fact that Panini may not have the license going forward, which means there will not be any contenders, will not be any Prism in the future.
Yeah,
that it may be,
maybe
whoever the next Patrick Mahomes is in 2030 or 2040 is going to have Topps Chrome, maybe, right? We don't know. I mean, Prism likeness may sell. They may sell contenders. Or they may come up with something similar to it.
I think at some point somebody buys the IP that has a license to make contenders in Prism and National at some point, right?
You know what's? You know, on a side note, I'm looking at this. So I think that you have the graphic on the video, so I'll do my best to describe this to our audio listeners. This is interesting to me, and I'm not gonna go down the conspiracy path. These are 2017, all 2017 signed rookie cards, correct? The Flawless is on card. The NT is on card.
Yeah, that Prism one looks funky, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? It doesn't look like his autograph.
That Prism one looks weird.
Yeah, I could see it.
Oh, we just outed somebody.
I mean, I could see it.
I just realized you're right. That does not look right.
I could see
You're
it.
watching the video.
Because his contenders that we have.
But isn't Prism sticker autos?
It's sticker. Yeah,
I was gonna
exactly.
Say, yeah. That's
100%. This is on card. It has to be that these are either at the rookie roundup.
Yep.
So
the Flawless for sure.
Flawless for sure, and probably the NT.
And
more
probably
likely.
the NT. And even we know even the contenders. Contenders actually get signed at the rookie roundup, generally around the the Senior Bowl. But where'd you guys get this?
That's all from.
It's all recent sales.
Yeah, from good folks over at Card Ladder. All confirmed sales in the 2 days. Highest confirmed sales in the last couple days. Yeah, no, that's.
Is that a Jackson Mahomes?
Yeah, I just was thinking that because look at our contenders optic.
Right, it's the same. It's
on card.
It's like the Flawless and the NT. Yeah, that might be something to
or
keep an
Pat
eye on.
Mahomes Senior.
That might be Pat
Mahomes
Senior.
would probably rather have a former baseball.
Did we just uncover something? Did we just create a scandal?
Yeah, I think we did. I think
because
we
the P's difference.
Everything about
well,
it.
I would need to see other Prism.
Yeah. The only explanation
Give
is
me
that
another.
it's an early
Give me
auto.
another Prism.
No, because
it doesn't make any
no,
sense.
it doesn't.
It
Because
doesn't
if
make
you
any
look at, let's look at. We know early autos are Contenders College, right? That comes out first. I'm going to look that up right now.
Yeah, that would be the saving grace right now. By the way, I was going to mention with just going back to the game, you could argue that the Chiefs were the team.
That autograph doesn't. Sorry, Cody.
go
that
ahead.
autograph does not look good.
No.
It doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies.
No, it's something's off. Something's off. But you can make an argument the Chiefs in terms of their window, maybe needed it more. Chris Jones is a free agent this offseason. Just throwing that out there. So, okay, we're getting confirmation maybe that isn't early. Or
Patel Mahomes.
Okay,
But that's a
college
sticker
auto.
auto. That's a sticker auto.
But it looks more similar to what we're seeing. All right.
Yeah, I think he did change his auto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's a sticker auto as well. Mm-hmm. Now, do we know that?
All right.
Here's the thing: Patrick Mahomes was at his draft party with a Panini banner behind him.
Yep.
So, I don't think he would not do that. But
Yeah, no.
it is definitely strange to look at. But we'll do some more digging on some more examples of that.
So as of right now, someone did not pay $12,000 for a fake auto. Hopefully.
It just you guys can clearly look at the sticker.
It does now that you've shown the early collegiate stuff. His autograph does look like that prism.
Yeah.
Now he has changed his autos even more. So if you go to a, let's say 2021 auto, he has really simplified the auto into that. Mm-hmm. So it could just be the evolution of signing so many times.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the one now I'm more familiar with.
More
which
and
is
more.
P and circle.
Yeah. But the P looks completely different. Like usually, I have different ways of signing my own autograph, but my D is very consistent.
Yeah.
To the P, it's definitely got a little bit more hoop to it. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll dig into that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, heartbreak for me. Just gonna.
It's baseball
I
season.
look forward to NFC championships.
Look, I'm always that annoying guy on social media when my team's not in the Super Bowl to say baseball season. Yeah, baseball. Now I'm just doing it to cope with the heartache.
Hey, how about that 5-game winning streak by the Dubs?
5-game winning streak by the Warriors. Great. Jorge Soler, welcome to San Francisco. Things are on the up and up. We move forward.
Amir Garrett?
Amir Garrett, welcome to the Giants. Welcome to the Orange and Black.
Me and Cody were talking about it off
I like
air.
it.
You know when they have like the Giants versus the Dodgers coming up on ESPN Sunday night? Is it going to be Jorge Soler on there?
Yeah. It's going to be
Is
the
that
guy
gonna
you
be the
highlight.
face of the
You're going to
Giants?
show Ohtani and Jorge Soler?
No, it's going to be Logan Webb.
Logan Webb. Yeah. Who says there aren't stars in San Francisco?
There
Come
really isn't.
All right, I think we made up for our Bay Area talk the last couple episodes. We had to inject it in.
We had to get as much
We
in.
had to get it injected. We're trying to recuperate from the Super Bowl.
A lot of people said the Super Bowl was boring.
It was for 3 quarters.
I don't believe that. I watched it and I felt it was an extremely entertaining game.
It was.
I heard it today and a little bit yesterday that man, that game was boring until the end.
People don't like defense. It was 10-3 midway through the third.
People watched
And
it,
I
though.
actually looked around at everyone and said, if we weren't rooting for anyone, would we all be saying, man, this stinks? This is boring.
McAfee had a good show today talking about obviously the most viewed telecast in the history of sports at over $202 million.
In the history of
202 million
TV.
viewers.
In the history of TV?
In the history of TV. So the NFL dropped their sack on the table and said, this is what we're doing. But the funny thing is how many negative viewing of scripted, rigged, blah, 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 Taylor Swift. All those people watched.
Now,
all those people watched.
So,
but my next point is the NFL has so much more room for growth. I didn't even realize. Is the first game of the year next year is in Brazil. Osi Umenyiora is ushering in to get games in Africa. Yep. So this. If you think the NFL couldn't get any bigger, you look at all the untapped markets that it could get into.
Nobody in the world cares about this sport other than the United States of America.
How many people?
It's why it's this
So
big.
you said 200 and what?
202 million viewers.
202 million.
TVs at least.
When you count for streaming Nickelodeon.
Well, let's say there is no Taylor Swift narrative in this Super Bowl, and it is just Chiefs, Niners, 2 teams. No Taylor Swift. You lose about 20 to 30 million.
No,
probably.
Do you know anybody that didn't watch the Super Bowl?
But in the circle that I'm in,
that's the thing. Yeah, it's hard for us.
Everybody watches the Super Bowl.
You think somebody was like, "I'm going to go take my bike ride"?
Actually, you know what? Yes, my nanny and her husband did not watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's people who
Had no idea, did not care, did not watch it, did not turn it on.
Yeah.
Nothing, didn't even talk about it.
120.
So yeah, I do know one person.
Yeah, it's still a third of the. It's 2/3 of the country are usually not watching the Super Bowl.
And I had 20 or so people in my house.
That's the
so
thing.
Does it count for? I mean, they don't have. I mean, I hope
Right.
they don't have eyeballs in my house to figure out how many people were watching. But you got to figure that's 202 million TVs.
Right.
That they're accounting for,
Right.
based on the Nielsen rating.
And streaming. Like
I think they are definitely pumping the numbers up a little bit with the streaming and the Nickelodeon.
You can't just
numbers,
count it for one, right? You got to take a
Nickelodeon
household
numbers.
average.
That's right. I heard SpongeBob and Patrick were calling the Super Bowl winning call.
Who? I mean,
pretty great.
And you're. Who's watching the Nickelodeon broadcast? I know you're gonna come at me and be like, the kids.
The kids.
The kids are not.
My kids weren't.
The kids are not. The kids are not watching it.
They weren't really watching the Super Bowl anyway. I mean, also, I think that what also, even without the matchup being as good as it was in Vegas. People wanted to see Vegas is an adult playground, is an adult Disneyland. Seeing what they're going to bring out for Vegas, what's going to be on TV because of Vegas. A lot of people like commercials.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got all that going for it as well.
I think, and sorry, Swifties, I don't like. I know people are like the Taylor effect. The Taylor effect.
The Taylor.
I think it counted for maybe
20 million.
5 million.
20 million.
Because it's a rematch. That is a thing. The intrigue of it's the guy who's dating Taylor Swift is in it. It's also the intrigue of two teams that people are now familiar with. They were in it a couple of years ago. These teams are always in it. This other guy is becoming an all-time QB. And it's, just the general interest of, like you said, Vegas and all that, too.
the best player in
But
the
Taylor
NFL.
Swift has had an effect on it. I don't want to say that she doesn't. She absolutely did.
She had an effect on the whole season.
Yeah, she did. She did. Like, it's, you could just see. It's,
But I don't also know anybody personally, and once again, maybe the circle of people I'm in. I am a 41-year-old male that was like, you know what? I wasn't going to watch the Super Bowl, but because they may show Taylor Swift every 5 seconds, I'm going to watch it now.
I actually want to hear from listeners. Chime in if you're not in our Facebook group. Get in there.
idea.
I want to hear from listeners. Let us know. Do you have kids or teenagers who are super into Taylor Swift who became interested in the season and in the Super Bowl specifically because she was in that world this year? I'm curious.
It's safe to say she is the only artist that can have this many people who are potentially not not football fans become interested in the sport of football. Nobody else could have that type of pull.
I think, though, if she was just going to games because she just liked football, I don't think we'd be talking about it like this. It's the fact that she's dating one of the more recognized names in all of
I will admit
like if
this.
Beyonce was dating somebody.
What if she was okay?
They might have the same.
And I think you're right because her dating Travis Kelce, he is also a polarizing figure,
Right.
in the sport of football.
Right.
What if she was dating Harrison Butker? Or is it
Well,
like
I think you're seeing it like
or is it
Simone
Tommy
Biles. Right.
or is
I'm
it
not
Tommy
saying that she's big as Taylor
is it
Swift,
Tommy
but
Tommy Townsend like
Right.
the punter for the Chiefs?
it's a huge deal and it elevates him.
Blake Bell.
But then
like if she was dating Blake Bell, would you have like
But on the flip side, what if she was dating Patrick Mahomes?
oh good Lord.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Good
that. I
Lord.
mean, you could elevate it on the next level on that.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was, I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old, both daughters, and they both were like, "Is that Taylor Swift's team?" So it did for that demographic, and she's super talented, but I think the year what sets her apart from anybody else is the marketing. The way that she's marketed herself, because she came off a tour. COVID derailed a lot of her tours. She came out the tour early in the year.
Ironically, it came off of one of the
That's the
largest tours in the history.
Well, not
of
only
music.
that,
It's
right?
the culmination of everything. It's also the fact
movie.
that
The movie. My daughters went to the movie.
Travis Kelce essentially calling his shot on the podcast that became very popular with his brother. And it's also feeding off of that, where it was, the Kelce brothers in the Super Bowl. And it's these two huge storylines converging. It is a perfect scenario where, there's not quite
Which
and
makes
there's nothing quite like it.
And listeners are cringing at the Taylor Swift talk here,
Hey,
but
whatever. It's the story, man.
You also wonder if it was one of those things. I can refer back to Lisa Marie Presley and Michael Jackson. What was that a relationship?
That's
for?
the other thing.
That was a publicity move, right? So is this true love, or is it like they've both benefited hugely for this relationship? Because New Heights, I think, is like the #1 podcast. Her career is skyrocketing.
It's ridiculous.
So it could be planned. Who knows? We'll see if there's a marriage proposal and there's kids, then it's not.
It's a perfect culmination of all of the two of them having huge years. Also, our public fascination with super couples. We haven't had
Is there?
I know Ben Affleck and J.Lo came back together, and it's a great story, but they're both older now. It's hey, it's quieter. Whereas this is two people, height of their fame, both are young. Both, it's just the perfect culmination.
Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce duet song coming soon.
Oh dear God! I don't.
Would be.
I don't know
would
what
be.
I don't know what it sounds like.
Honestly, would be the #1 song.
We don't know if he has any talent.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter. You basically you put him through enough vocal processors, it wouldn't matter. But it would be the #1 song. Travis Kelce very well could have a #1 song.
I think you're.
In the country.
I don't think he's quite as popular as
That. That is where.
No. If they had a duet, her being on it would be
Without
the number.
him.
With him, they could be singing together. It'd be like Johnny Cash and June Carter.
Good Lord.
But those are both musicians. We're talking about a football player here that we don't know if he could sing or not.
It'll be interesting.
Well, let's get back into baseball talk. This week in the hobby, we've got some interesting previews of a unsigned superfractor coming out in 2024 Bowman, and my first thought was when I saw it on Twitter, somebody's like they pack pulled it and it wasn't autographed. I'm like, well, it's probably pre-autographed, right? It's of Riku Nishida, who's got a first Bowman autograph in one of the upcoming Bowman releases. We don't know if it's 2024 Bowman. I could assume it is. It could be Bowman Chrome as well.
The design makes it definitely look like it's 24.
Well, it is 24
Minus-
for sure, but we
minus
don't know
1 more.
what release it's going to be in because it's the same design. It's unsigned, but I guess the thing I didn't notice at first is it's the corners are
The rounded
rounded.
corners. I think I might know why. I think that might be the way they're doing maybe test proofs. If those are test proofs, you know right away that if it's rounded corners, it wasn't supposed to be ever in the product.
But this came. I don't even know where this source came from.
Yeah, I mean, why? If that's coming from the player, why would the player have a rounded corners
Correct.
to sign? I don't know.
I also can't tell if it's a mini.
But that would also be the way to make sure that cards with rounded corners they're proofs and they do not get put into the product. They should never be put into the
Or
product.
is it like you have a superfractor coming up in the pack because there's one? I'm just running through the thought process. If this is the way they're doing superfractors this year, is it like, I'm opening the pack, I see the stack here as a breaker, and I'm like, we have a superfractor without even knowing? Because one card's different than the rest of them.
Don't think so, because you essentially know you have a superfractor by the film.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I don't. And you'd be saying that the whole set wouldn't be rounded corners. It would just be the superfractors.
Well,
that are
because we
rounded
have
corners.
seen some unsigned copies of like a blue parallel, and they are not. So that's what's kind of throwing me.
Yeah,
off.
we've seen the mock-ups of some of and seen guys signing these cards, and yeah, they've all been your traditional corners.
I'm not pro rounded corners.
Neither am I. It
No,
looks like a
I
trading-
am-
it looks like
I
a
am-
playing card.
It's a trading. That's a playing card.
Yeah.
that's not.
I'm not
that's not a
pro.
sports card.
This is real. I'm gonna go down saying I think it is some type of test proof.
That makes the most sense because of all of the trouble they've had over the last year of these things getting out or whatever it may be. This is a great way to counteract that.
Or maybe
A very easy,
when
subtle way
it's
to
put
do it.
into the sorting machine, because it has rounded corners, it won't get put into the pack.
Yeah.
It'll jam up the machine because it's
Or-
like, this isn't card regular.
You could also make the argument, that this is too. If that is the case, that they are trying to counteract that, is it almost too subtle though? Like someone is still gonna go on if it leaks out. and somebody finds it on eBay and goes, "Oh my God, I found it for a bargain. I paid $6,000 for this," and they don't even see the rounded corners. Maybe they need to make it a little more obvious, of like a big stamp that says "test" or
the wildest.
I don't know.
The wildest take.
Obvious.
The wildest take I saw, and I think it was under the. So you could see the card. I know Collectibles Guru tweeted it out. I think Card Purchaser did as well. That's when I got wind of it. Somebody's take was, this is what Topps is doing now to prevent the athletes from damaging the corners. So once this card comes back signed, they chop it straight. I'm like, no way. There's no way.
What?
Man.
Like they left a little.
So they have the players signed the rounded corners
So that they can't damage.
so they
the
can't
corners.
damage it, and then they cut it to where
It's square corners.
It's square. Okay, well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going. And I thought my whole idea of it just being a test proof was
No,
kind of crazy. That is
No, that sounds like a very logical
so
explanation.
with that.
I have a wild take.
With that,
I have a wild take.
then like we don't care about any other color but superfractor. Like we don't care about if that was the case, then they would have all rounded corners on every single card that they're going to sign.
Here's my wild take. We all know that production levels are going up. We got to make more product, right? We got
come
breakers.
on, dude.
We got breakers breaking the product now. We have the HTA version. We have the jumbo version. We have the
Rounded
retail
corner,
version. No,
super. Oh,
there's because we don't want to say that the superfractor is 1 in 75 million packs now. It's 1 in 36 million because there's two. There's a rounded corner one, and there's which is
I thought you were gonna.
So,
I thought you were gonna
so
say.
it is like rounded
I thought you were
corner
gonna say
super
that like
is a thing now.
we're saving cardboard to make more cards by not having.
No, I'm just saying
This is the industry
we
version
gotta
of the
have
plastic straws.
like
or
this is
paper
the
straws versus
this is
plastic
the
straws.
SP variation auto superfractor. We have the base one, and now we have the SP variation
The
one.
rounded corner parallel.
The rounded corner parallel only found in choice.
That's bullshit.
Because now you have odds in
that is
choice for superfractors, and you have odds in jumbo for superfractors. You have two of them now. And pick your poison, which one you're going to like better.
Square corners.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I
Well,
think
that one
most
will
people
still
are gonna
retain
want
the
that.
value, I would think.
But then there's gonna be the person who argues the round is gonna grade better.
This isn't your daddy's superfractor.
And it's-
Hey,
Daddy
they've made
Super.
every other parallel. How many 150s are there now? There's like the Lava, the Shimmer, the Mojo.
But you think that
They've never done another
you don't-
one-on-one.
But you don't think they would figure out like they're all? How can we distinguish the two superfractors and they come up with round off the corners?
It
Like
is really
instead of
weird.
like maybe changing the film a little bit, making another one of one parallel. No, rounded corners.
Hey, if that's what they're doing, you got to try stuff, see if it sticks.
Could it also be like? Could this really be chalked up to? Because we know that the printing facilities are printing, tons of cards from tons of places. Are they also printing cards that are like playing cards?
Bicycle, they use the wrong film.
Right? Did they use
the wrong sheet?
Did they use the wrong sheet to cut? And went, whoops, one got out, and that's it. That is literally all this is, and nothing will happen.
So you're saying I'm going to find poker cards with square corners?
I am starting to feel like that is
so
the
you're,
more likely scenario.
You're telling me that I can go out and buy a pack of playing cards, bicycle playing cards,
Right.
and I can pull a superfractor out of
and
that.
you can pull the
I'm
one.
like,
you can pull
I'm sitting there. I'm like,
Ace
I'm
of
missing.
spades, super!
I'm missing my jack of diamonds, but I got the superfractor in there instead.
Right.
No, we're just saying that maybe they
Somebody forgot to switch out the
Yes.
one that cuts those instead of the one that cuts the corners. That's all it was. And so now it's like, whoops, got to go back to the drawing board.
yeah. Or
really-
let's keep them and save the money. And
Right.
I really hope I'm right. I really hope it's a test proof.
I have a feeling.
But there's also a part of me because of the perception of where the card was. It was the only one card on the photo that it could be a mini. Because remember, they did have Bowman Chrome Mini
that wouldn't
before.
be crazy.
It looks like you can't tell if it's a regular size card. Now, we superimposed it on here to make it look like a regular card.
Looks like a regular size card. With the other cards, it looks like a regular size card. Now, I don't
But
like.
now it looks like a mini.
I don't like minis. I don't like.
I don't like
minis
minis either, but I'm just saying.
What if it's not quite like? What if it's the size? You know the George Brett Robin Yount rookie, and it's like not a mini, but it's a little bit bigger. It's like an in between. What if it's a tweener? What if it's not your typical mini and not a full size, but it's a tweener?
To that I say,
Wait a second.
It's a 3/4 size.
What the hell are we even doing?
I figured it out. You know what product doesn't sell? Allen and Ginter. That's
true.
So what we're going to do is we're going to make mini superfractors, and they're going to be in rip cards in Allen and Ginter Chrome. And you're going to have a chance at all the first Bowmans from 2024 Bowman inside the Allen and Ginter minis.
That's a smart move. That's not a, and you can make a lot more Allen and Ginter because there'll be a lot more chase.
I am curious.
And you can make what they want. Breakers want the HTA Ginter.
What are the chances that this card somehow comes up again? Like I'm curious. Like it's a curiosity right now, but like, do we really think we're going to find something out like this is a mini or this is like I don't know. I think a big part of me feels like we're going to talk about this. Hey, this was fun, and then it will.
I mean,
never hear it again.
honestly, I do think
I will be shocked.
I think
if we
Allen and
if we
Ginter
continue to hear
needed
about it.
a little. I think Allen and Ginter does need a little spice up there, in putting a first Bowman that you could only get in an Allen and Ginter rip card.
Yeah,
and then you get people because now people are like, do I rip it or do I not rip it? And I'll be like, you're gonna rip it because you're gonna try to find these.
That does strike me as the kind of thing they've been doing lately, where it's like, let's spice it up a little bit.
Or they make. I mean, they have that standalone rip product.
Yeah.
So maybe it doesn't go in Allen and Ginter, but it goes into Topps Rip.
Could be.
Which is sold B2C, sold from their website.
Or if you take the Topps Chrome update debut patch approach, you take these 100 mini superfractors, you put them in like 8 products that don't sell. Let's see, you have Topps Rip, you have Ginter, you have you put a rip card in Stadium Club,
I don't know, Doug. It all sells.
sells.
They're all. I'm team Topps. They're all my favorites.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like there's going to be another F1 release coming out this week as well.
Friday.
So Topps Chrome F1.
Who we chasing?
Is it still Lewis Hamilton? Yeah,
Max
Verstappen.
Verstappen.
See, there's not a lot of like moving and shaking in the whole F1.
Well,
business.
and if I'm not mistaken, Lewis Hamilton not with Mercedes anymore.
No, he just moved to Ferrari. If I'm not
Ferrari.
Is that an upgrade?
I just watched that.
I don't.
Just watch that movie.
I don't know if that's an upgrade. Is that an upgrade?
I have no idea. Well,
I mean,
after watching that
you're the
movie, I was
racing
like,
guy.
geesh.
Well, okay.
Some dark stuff.
The racing I like is a little bit different.
Yeah, Daytona this
It's
weekend.
Daytona 500. I love how NASCAR starts off with their Super Bowl. They're like, we are going to start off with the top event, and then we're going to work our way backwards.
Yeah, I've always wondered about this.
It's
that
great.
strategy. It's a bold strategy.
It's bold. I love it though. I mean it.
I mean, it gets me watching, and I don't watch NASCAR.
It's the equivalent of having the Super Bowl in week 1.
Yeah,
Preseason. No.
preseason Super Bowl.
No, yeah, week 1 Super Bowl. I mean, yeah, it's it's gonna be a great event, and I'd love to go in person. I've only been to a handful of NASCAR races, but Daytona 500 definitely on the bucket list.
Yep.
Oscar Piastri is a rookie that I think everybody's
That's
chasing.
a name I am definitely familiar with.
He's on the McLaren F1 team, so looks like a young fella there, and he will be one of the chases in this product. Of course, you have Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, all these names that we've known over the years.
Now, did they have? I know that news just came out with Lewis Hamilton. Did they have him representing Ferrari, or is he still Mercedes?
Probably Mercedes.
Probably Mercedes, right? And
this is technically 2023.
And is he like this upcoming season? Does he have one more year with Mercedes, or is he?
I'm pretty sure it's
now
effective
Ferrari.
Immediately, he's now on Team Ferrari.
They probably gave him some money, right?
And we got some Premier League soccer as well coming out, and that's going to be all available at Mojobreak.com as well as MojobreakShop.com for your boxes. I wanted to get into this talk. I guess Topps has a Hobby Hall of Fame. Not a lot of details other than some social media push on it. Or I don't even know if it's a push. It's just been put out there, and there is a Google Documents. Maybe we could pull that up here. Where did we find that at? That was through, I think, Sue's.
Former guest of the program.
Who posted? Is this posted by Tops?
It's an official. When you click the document, it's clearly an official
Fanatics.
Tops document.
Who started this?
Fanatics.
Who did this?
Yeah.
Who did it?
But what we found interesting when we looked at the doc, it has like nominee's name, nominee's email, nominee's I'm like, wait. Why do you need the if I'm nominating someone, what if that person isn't with us anymore? You know? Like, what if I'm nominating someone who died? Which is, if you're the inaugural class of the Hobby Hall of Fame,
There's a good possibility.
right? You would kind of
honestly,
want the people who were originators.
One of the I would say the person that I would probably nominate, not with us anymore.
Right.
Possibly me as well.
I think me too.
So here's what it says.
I'm nominating because I really want a movie to be made about him.
I think we're thinking the same guy.
So here's what it says. The Topps Hobby Hall of Fame is developed to honor hobby leaders that through creativity, hard work, and ingenuity have grown the collector community, led breakthrough innovation, and served as role models in the industry. Nominees should be known for their passion, integrity, and commitment to sports and entertainment, cards, and collectibles. Shop owners, breakers, influencers, collectors, and industry leaders are eligible. All applications must be submitted by February 15th.
Oh, so we got.
So if you're listening to this,
actually today,
Doug Caskey,
last day.
Mojobreak at gmail.com. No, I don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I am in the Beckett Hall of Fame, so is Dan. But
yeah, I mean, when you are in the Beckett Hall of Fame, you've hit the peak.
Right.
So I'm not going to say this might be a downgrade, but I mean,
yeah, I mean, we have that black label jacket, that black label jacket. So
wait a second, you got a black label jacket?
Black label jacket.
That'd be rad. That's pretty cool.
I think they should have given black label jackets.
That would have been a cool move.
I would need to talk to someone.
We should have the
Pristine
knock at the
jackets.
door from like Adam Martin or something. He was the year before us.
Yeah, we didn't go in. We didn't get inducted with Adam Martin. We did get inducted with is it Brian Gray?
Yes, Rich Layton,
Brian Gavin,
Chad Redfern,
Firehand, Chris Justice.
Yep.
Tracy Hackler was the year after us, I believe. But yeah, I mean, it's been a wild ride being a part of the Beckett Hall of Fame.
So I mean, yeah, I know. All these appearances,
the luncheons,
all these
the luncheons.
the bag lunch.
I like back on Hall of Fame weekend,
and I like lunch, so that's it fits.
Yeah, that was actually, I think it was like still like during COVID because we had I had a mask on at that time. So for this one, I mean.
Now, do you have the nominees?
there are no nominees.
No, you have to fill it in yourself.
That's the thing.
We can't see it.
No,
We can't see who other
no.
people are
It is a
nominated.
Google Doc form, but we don't get to see the thing. So yeah, you have to put the nominee name, the nominee email, the nominee cell phone number, the nominee.
Come on,
that's
man.
weird.
I don't.
The nominator name, the nominator email, the nominator cell. So you have to put like 408-888. No, I'm just kidding. And then you have to put the email. The nominee is best known as.
I haven't had anybody hit me up for my phone number.
I know. The nominee is best known as shop owner. You can select shop owner, breaker, influencer, industry leader, or collector. The other question is approximate number of years nominee has been in the industry. Please provide a recommendation statement, no more than 700 words.
700 words?
No more.
Oh.
If
You need to write an essay about how great I am.
Yeah.
if selected, would you be willing to share a few words via recorded video about the nominee? This video would be shared at the Topps Industry Conference.
Oh, this stuff's getting announced pretty quickly, though.
I don't think I'm going to make it.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm gonna.
What, industry conference next month, right?
No.
Or what is
I'm
it?
not. I'm talking about the Hall of Fame. I don't think.
Oh,
I'm
no,
gonna,
no,
I don't think I'm going to be. I don't think I'm going to be a first
No,
ballot.
I'm talking though. They're going to announce this at the industry conference.
Sounds
which is
like
what we're about a month away. Usually should be
No,
more
I
than
think
that.
they moved it to more like a June.
Oh, they
scenario
did? Okay, they moved
that
it.
I know of. I don't think it's been announced.
May.
Okay. A couple months.
I've heard rumors it's in Atlanta. I don't know.
March.
But, I mean, I guess let's go around the room and maybe start with Cody. If you had to pick one person, and I'm thinking history. I'm thinking like if this is the inaugural Hall of Fame, this is similar to like the inaugural Baseball Hall of Fame.
There's a chance we're all going to say the same guy. When Dan was alluding to what...
Well, how about this? We can't pick the same guy.
Okay,
So you get to go first.
Then I'm going Richard McWilliam.
Dude, what?
I have to. I mean...
Me
look,
too.
Look, but the thing is... They threw in a little... They did throw in a little...
Yeah, I don't have his phone number.
Right.
I don't have his email.
But
And
when you talk about...
I guess I can write a 700-word essay about...
Yeah, this actually alludes to that they're going to be around still, like with us.
Yeah, which I don't think I'm a fan of. I'm not a fan
But it
of
also
that.
says they should known for their passion and integrity, and you mentioned Richard McWilliam.
Sure. I was going to say, we know stories. They throw in essentially, Baseball Hall of Fame calls it the character clause. So they throw in a little of that. But when you are talking about the state of the modern, literally ushering in the modern age of trading cards and sports cards, you cannot tell that story without telling the story of Upper Deck and Richard McWilliam. You can't. So he has to be in there.
Well...
No, I stole a little thunder.
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot.
I mean, I was going to pick Don West as
makes sense.
as my pick, but let's see what your pick is, and then I want to throw another stipulation into this.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go more on the. Lloyd Key.
What did he innovate? I love Lloyd.
Distribution.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Distribution. David Reel?
Nobody knows who you're talking about.
But isn't this kind of the point of this whole thing?
Kevin O'Neill?
It should be.
I mean, honestly, if I had to pick somebody that's still with us, because you could also throw in Alan Rosen, but he's no longer with us,
Right.
Mr. Mint.
Mint should be on there.
I would probably say Adam Martin
Oh, Adam Martin.
from David Adams.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, there's probably there's probably people who would say Jim Grant.
Sure. Yeah.
I will be very curious.
How about Kevin Isaacson?
See, but you're talking about business folks.
Industry summit?
I think you almost have to be a forward-facing, like we know these people. If we were all voting as a business side of things, these people would get nominations. But this is the public voting. So, I mean...
Jeff Wilson.
Well... There's crickets all of a sudden.
Colin and Ryan Teddards from Sports Card Radio.
There you go.
I mean, that is my final answer. I'm locking it in.
Put him in.
Sports Card Radio.
Done a lot for the hobby, that's for sure.
I like it.
That's who I'm going with.
Certainly not ruining the hobby we love. Certainly not doing.
Now, there's been some people on Twitter that's saying they're making up their own requirements. The first one that I saw was if you've been in this hobby for the last 4 years of the COVID boom, you shouldn't be qualified. And then also, if you got in this hobby, and it has to be prior to 2010.
What's the rock and roll
Prior to 2010.
What's the rock and roll Hall of Fame?
What do you
Right
mean?
on the cusp.
What do you mean
Right.
prior to 2000? Who? So honestly, the people I just named are like the only people who would be prior to 2010.
Exactly.
It's going to be all business people.
I would go Rock and Roll Hall of Fame eligibility rules. What is that? Like, isn't it like 15, 20 years after your first
How about Tom
record or
Fish?
something like that?
Tom Fish?
Could be.
This is. I mean, I think these picks are all solid picks. I'm very curious to see what
I'm still going.
ends up being.
I'm going Colin and Ryan.
Also, the fact that it's tops, like it's a tops Hall of Fame. Are they going to maybe
They're going
out?
They're going Jeff Wilson,
Alan Nars?
Alan Nars, Yeah,
we'll see. Well, we'll find out at the industry conference.
Michael Rubin.
Shocker. Shocker, he's in.
I'm just trying to,
The man who owns the company is the first ballot, first inductee.
Carvin Chung, the creator of Exquisite.
That's right. See, that's what I'm saying. These guys are like connected to Upper Deck and Panini. Like, are they going to be like, yeah, well, welcoming in open arms to the Tops Hobby Hall of Fame? I don't know if they will. We'll see.
That is a good point. They have to. I think Alan Nars is a really, really good pick because of his connection with Topps.
The Rip Master.
Yes.
And you know him, if you've been to the National, you hear his voice from miles away, streaming.
Yeah, I think if there is going to have to be a substantial tie-in with Topps and somebody who's been around for a while, I think Alan Nars is a good pick.
Well, last day to vote is, if you're listening to this, so again, it's Mojobreak.com. You can put that down. You can put down the shop phone number. That'll work.
Let's stuff the ballot. Okay,
Yeah, stuff the ballot.
Let's do it.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be all right with the second ballot Hall of Fame. I mean, I'm like T.O., he's going to take me a little while to get in.
How many people, I wonder, are getting inducted?
I don't know. And how many votes do you need to get? Like, that's the thing.
It's
also vague.
So if you just get nominated, is that enough to get you in?
Right.
And are they going to take nominees from the person nominating
Yeah, this is
themselves?
baseball Hall of Fame rules, where it's like you need 75% of the vote.
Why are we? This seems like
It's too bad.
I don't like this. This seems like it's more of a popularity. It's a popularity contest.
It is 100%.
I feel like it's a student body.
The fact that industry leaders.
I'm running for class president.
When you named off all of the types of people who can get inducted, and industry leaders is literally the last one, tells me they are probably gunning for more of the let's get the
let's let's post this up on our Facebook group, because I think this would be a good discussion.
Who's in your Hall of Fame?
And I mean, I'm in the camp of maybe breakers shouldn't be in. Maybe there's not enough longevity. I mean, we're one of the first ones, literally the first one to have a website that was selling breaks, but that was 2010. We've only been in here for 14 years. We're just cagey veterans at this point. We're not all-star. I mean, we're not like, legends yet. So like, I don't know. Maybe it does have to be prior to 2010. Maybe your body of work has to be 20 years.
Yeah. Like I said, it's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
But didn't you say it had to be 4 years and now it's...
No, I'm saying what people are saying on Twitter, because we know some of the influencers out there are going to get votes.
But what is the? There's no stipulation.
For them, no.
There's no stipulation on. So it could be somebody who has been in the industry for a year.
Yes, if they get, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to take the suggestions and have their own people in mind.
Not getting in.
No,
not getting in.
It's all right. I'll continue to wear my Black Label jacket. So
I mean, we would be one of the first to be in 2 hobby Hall of Fames.
That could happen.
That we would.
Still could happen.
That we would.
So are we going to make our own Mojobreak?
That's what really needs to happen. We need
Industry
the Mojo
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we need Mojo Hall of Fame. Mojobreak Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
We should. That's the move.
How about the people who like Mr. Ultra Pro? Everybody loves Ultra Pro,
right? Like, again, shouldn't you put the person who invented modern baseball baseball cards?
Somebody
go way back.
I mean,
Lewis Ginter.
Yeah.
Go back to the 1880s. I mean, right? Should be. Just saying.
I mean, it does sound like. Well, do you have his email?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, and
I
probably an AOL.
It is I am dead at.
Got to be an AOL there, at least, right?
Yeah.
A little telegram. You got to send him a telegram.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go.
I don't like popularity contests.
I'm gonna tell him. Yeah, you have to go to the Pony Express to find his.
I mean, what's been the biggest innovation in this hobby of somebody that's living? That's. I mean, I don't know.
Grading. Somebody who.
But you can't put one person on that.
Yeah,
No,
you can't put Mr. PSA.
I'm voting for it.
How about Dr. James Beckett?
I mean, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That is the most obvious. I don't think anyone's gonna have any qualms about that. That Dr.
That
James
works.
Beckett
That works for me.
First ballot.
That works for
And
me.
he's got to be in the Beckett Hall of Fame, right?
I certainly hope so.
It's like saying Vince Lombardi is not.
The hell are we doing here?
Not on the Lombardi Trophy for a reason.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing to think about, but we'll see. Who cares? Who cares? At the end of the day,
what I can't think of a better way
To cap off a 15
to cap off
conversation.
a 15-minute segment with "Who cares?"
Who cares?
yeah. At the end of the day, that is not getting cards in the hands of customers. It's not getting Ultra Pro covers on customers' cards.
Still a more legit Hall of Fame than Cooperstown. We can all.
It's true. That is a clown show.
We can all agree.
Top Series 1 is here, guys. This Wednesday. You're listening to this probably one day after release. We've already gotten some cards out in people's hands. Star-studded checklist. the time of year, and I say this probably every year on this podcast, you could already smell the grass. You could smell the popcorn and the garlic fries, and your cold beverage as baseball first pitch is about to start. A national anthem is being sung. Series 1 is Series 1. I think it's kind of the same. I think the new introduction this year is the Team Color SP. So, which is it only for rookies?
I don't believe so. I think this is something that you're going to find for every player from everything I have seen. I like the way they look. They look great. Did see that some of these are already out in the wild before release day. The Ellie De La Cruz listed for nearly $5,000. Which
That should eliminate you from the Topps Hall of Fame
it
instantly.
should. Releasing these out in the wild a couple days early.
Ripping a product early
Yeah.
when you're not supposed to be, and getting the product out into the market before that's like PEDs.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of like juicing your whole baseball career.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do it. Not even once.
Who's the guy that did the Pokemon? I'm going to vote for him. The Pokemon, the former
Pikachu.
No, the former. Yeah, Pikachu should be in the Hall of Fame. No, the former Raider. The former Raider.
Blake Martinez.
Yeah, I'm going to vote for Blake Martinez.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess it's 1 in 228 hobby packs, which would be. How many hobby packs are in a box typically? 24? Is it 24?
It used to be 20.
36?
It used to be 20. It used to be 36, and then it went down to 24. I want to say 20.
Yeah,
I want to say it went down to 20.
All right, let's use the math on just 20, if it is 20. That's in 11 boxes.
So it's a case hit, essentially.
Essentially a case hit, looks like.
Is it numbered?
No.
They're not.
But somebody has an LED De La Cruz for $5,000.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Not a penny less.
For what it's worth, that Marco Luciano, I think we put up there, $100 is listed. So that runs the gamut there.
This is a sexy card.
I think they look really nice.
People don't like Luciano.
Just hasn't proven enough. He's been hurt a lot. Just has not had sustained playing time in general, let alone sustained success. But I mean, it's all there.
You better figure it out this year.
Tools are all there. He's gonna get a shot this year, which I'd say, yeah, why not? You got to figure out what you got. You got to know what you got to figure it out.
Elliot Ramos,
Who knows?
is he getting an opportunity this year?
I have no idea. Who knows?
Luis Matos.
Yeah, he'll probably get more of an opportunity.
We do have a checklist spotlight, and once again, this comes in two different. Well, there's more than two versions, but the hobby versions are your hobby regular, which includes one hit, typically a relic, but do have a chance at an autograph. The jumbo version is 3 hits, usually 1 manufactured relic, 1 regular relic, and then 1 autograph. And case count of that is 6. Case count in the hobby is 12. So you can find boxes on mojobreakshop.com, and you can get into those breaks. Once again, use that code that we mentioned at the beginning of the hour to get into some Series 1 breaks at mojobreak.com. There is some big chase too. You do have the cuts. You don't normally see too many cuts because they are hard to pull, but they have everybody that you'd want. I guess the Home Sweet Home Stadium Medallion parallels Corbin Carroll with a image of Chase Field as a relic. That'll be probably one of your manufactured ones. Ellie De La Cruz does look like he has on-card rookie autos in here, so that should be pretty hot.
Junior Caminero, it does not have base cards, but does have autos, so that's something to follow.
Junior Caminero does not have base cards.
But he has autos. So he'll be in Series 2 as a rookie. So similar to Corbin Carroll last year, where he did not appear in Series 1, appeared in Series 2, if I'm not mistaken. Which Series 2 shaping up to be very, very exciting with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, with Jackson Churio, potentially. After he signed his big extension, he's almost certainly going to be on the opening day roster. Jackson Holiday as well. So
better than Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah, and yeah, if you want to round out all the Jacksons, you have your own Jackson 5. Basically.
I was going to say, not as good as Michael, but,
Right.
better than Jackson.
There's a lot of good Jacksons this year, if you're into that. Jung-Hoo Lee, Giants, look, I know we're going heavy on Bay Area, but I just feel good as a Giants fan that, they're very collectible this year. Going back to Bowman, Bryce Eldridge. Big name. A lot of guys like him. Yeah. And you got Marco Luciano. You got Luis Matos in here. You got Jung-Hoo Lee. You got names people want. It's nice for a change.
Gotta win some baseball
Gotta
games.
win some baseball games. But it's nice to have some.
Lot of rookie cards. Lot of rookies.
But I like the exciting young players. So it's shaping up to be, I think, a really solid rookie
So
class.
we
Series
have
one's a solid rookie.
We have Jumbo. We have Hobby. We have mega boxes. And
We
we're
have the
gonna
Fanatics exclusive.
The Fanatics
with the-
exclusive blasters that you have an opportunity to get redemptions for signed
Yep.
memorabilia.
Love the move. I know we talked about it last week, but I think it's a great move.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Home Run Challenge is back.
Home Run Challenge.
Monster boxes too. They have the gigantic cards back again as well. Those will probably be at your local Targets, Walmarts. Companion cards, 1989 Topps Baseball Chrome cards. So the 89 highlighted by, if you remember those, as a Griffey year, is that nice little font with the little squiggly on there. Can't really describe it very well, but you know what I mean.
It's the iconic.
Yeah, the iconic 89 Topps,
Yep.
and got that design coming into play. I'm trying to find the cut autos on this checklist. It's a massive checklist. Cut autographs.
Gotta have Ruth, right?
Usually.
Yeah, at some point. Run out.
Yep, Babe Ruth. Al Kaline, Bill Dickey, Bob Feller, Bob Gibson, Ernie Banks, Catfish Hunter, Harmon Killebrew, Roberto Clemente, Satchel Paige, Ty Cobb, Warren Spahn, Mel Ott, anybody you'd want. God dang, Babe Ruth signed a lot of autographs.
Signed a lot.
Any like celebrity cuts or
No,
anything?
doesn't
Just
appear.
all ball players.
All ball
All ball
players.
players.
I know in the past they have thrown in some like Lucio Ball and stuff like that, but I don't see that on this checklist. So, I'm excited, man. I mean, I love Series 1. It does come out on Valentine's Day as well, so that's an interesting release. I don't know how many couples are going to be sitting, with their steak and wine.
Look, it's the
Series 1,
classic Valentine's Day tradition. You come home with the roses and say, honey, you get down on one knee.
And then you're like,
And you're ready to get that box, and you go, will you rip open this Top Series 1 jumbo box with me?
Let's rip some packs.
Yeah.
Nothing says I love you like ripping some Series 1. A family that rips Series 1 together is a family that stays together.
That's right.
It almost reminds me of that Homer Simpson episode for Christmas. He got Marge a bowling ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man.
Like, and then she's like, I don't know, I'll use it.
That's right. Good episode. That's a good one.
But let's Cody, let's rank these rookies.
Yeah.
For the big names that are coming out of this.
I mean, mentioned a few of them, and I was saying we did a video on the Series 1 guys. Ellie, number 1, a lot to prove. Tons to prove, frankly. But all the tools are there. Like, if he can even reach 75% of what his potential is, he is going to be the hottest name in this set. He's an incredible talent. Evan Carter might be the safest bet, I feel like, after winning a World Series. He looks good already. He's surrounded by an amazing team there. Jason Dominguez is a close second only because he's hurt, but once he's back, like, it's kind of perfect timing when he's back. Topps Chrome probably is going to be right around the corner because he's going to be back mid-season. Yep. So you're going to have Topps Chrome coming back. He's here. Topps Chrome's coming out. He's back. Perfect. Perfect culmination there. But after that, it does fall off a little bit. Then it's like, do you like Zach Geloff? Yeah, he's on the A's, but he had huge numbers. Do you like the potential of Marco Luciano? Then you kind of have to look towards Series 2 of, like, how is this whole rookie class going to look? And that's where the guys I mentioned, Yamamoto, Jackson Chourio, Jackson Holiday, Jung-Hoo Lee, those guys are going to be I think you're looking at some of the biggest, frankly. Three of those guys.
We don't think Chourio is going to be held out for 2025?
No, you can't. I don't think you can, because he's signed that extension, which indicates he's on the there's no reason to not have him.
So Ellie
on the
was
opening day
not on the opening day roster, right?
No, he was not last year. He got called up, June or July of last year?
Jackson Holiday didn't get called up last year.
No, he hasn't, but all indications seem to be that he might be on the opening day roster. That they have not, they're making room to make sure he's on the opening day roster.
Interesting.
Which we'll see. He may not. So that might be one where that's the one where I am going to bet he's in 2024. But if he gets called up a little later, he's got 2025 written all over him.
Or update.
Or update. I do think at that point, though, they'll just hold him till 2025. Like they did with Adley.
Yeah.
But
Didn't the Orioles win the most games last year?
They did indeed. And they just got Corbin Burns.
And
they just sold the team to two multi-billionaires who want to spend a lot of money. So
and they're gonna put Jackson Holiday in that lineup
potentially.
So they're gonna win like 140 games.
Yeah, they're gonna win 140 goals.
Gunnar Henderson,
Another year older.
Ryan Mountcastle,
your guy, Mountie.
He is the
lineup.
He is like the old man on that team now.
Oops, yeah. How quick? That's how young they are. He's the grizzled vet.
He is the grizzled vet
on that team.
He's like 28.
Yeah, I mean, getting Corbin Burns, awesome. Like I was like, go for it. You've got the young core. You got an owner now who's willing to spend. Go for it.
Isn't Cal
Orioles
Ripken
plus 1,400 on to win the World Series?
Isn't Cal Ripken Jr. part of the ownership group?
He might be. I don't know. I haven't seen the breakdown of what it is.
He definitely is involved somewhere.
Yeah, but they renewed the lease there in Baltimore for like 30 more years. So yeah, that team is.
They're not getting a new stadium for 30 years?
No, I mean, why would you when you're playing?
Dodgers are the favorite,
Crown
followed
Jewel?
by the Braves, Astros, Yankees, Rangers, then Orioles.
I'm putting money on the Orioles.
Man, they're sixth in that.
Rangers and
man.
Orioles, same odds, but Yankees plus 850, Astros 700, Braves
give me the
460,
Orioles.
and the Dodgers plus 320.
Another year.
The Astros are what?
Plus 700.
Okay.
Better than the Orioles, though.
The Orioles are what?
Orioles are plus 1,400.
Yeah, man. Give me the Orioles.
What about the Yankees?
The Yankees are fourth with 850 plus 850.
Why?
Juan Soto.
Giants 60 plus 6,500.
God, come on.
I mean,
Easy money.
All right, who's the
worst?
The
A's.
worst.
It's gotta be the A's.
Yep, tied for the worst with another team.
The Marlins.
Nope.
The wild card Marlins last year. Let's put a little
The
respect.
Nationals.
No.
Yeah, Nationals.
Nationals
are
fourth to last.
sneaky. I'm gonna say right now, Nationals sneaky wild card contender
Rockies.
this year.
Yes.
Yeah, Rockies stink.
Plus 500,000.
You're in a division
Wait,
where
whoa.
50,000. Plus 50.
Plus 50,000.
look.
I'm betting the A's, man.
In this area,
this is what's going to happen. The A's, this is how they're going to prove that they stay. They are going to win a World Series.
we're gonna have so you're telling me we're gonna have a literally major league happen in real life?
Yes.
That is what's gonna happen.
Yes.
Look, I like Zach Geloff. I really like him. He's stud power hitter. If you're looking for a sleeper, he might not even be a sleeper anymore for fantasy. Zach Geloff, second base, could get you 35 homers. There's a second base position. Not many guys can do that.
A's are your world champions.
Good Lord.
Like I just said it. Right.
It'd be kind of incredible if that were to happen, and then who knows what happens.
So the A's win, and then they sell the team off to Joe Lakeup.
And they get their crown jewel ballpark at Howard Terminal, and they all live happily ever after.
Well, I think we're 2 minutes away from a meeting we have here, so we're going to have to let you guys go.
We
on that A's talk.
Could we just have the meeting here?
Yeah, let's just record it.
Just record it. The podcast breaker meeting.
All right, guys, we'll get you Series 1. Prism's around the corner. Basketball next week as well. Catch us on Mojobreak.com as well as Breaking Live on Fanatics. And get your wax at MojobreakShop.com. And we'll see you guys next week on Night. Peace.